Steve Sarkisian's record versus Georgia, it's not been great. Last year, obviously, 2 games versus Georgia. You lost the first one 30-15. Lost the second one 22-19 in an overtime game. Second game was with Gunnar Stockton. First game was with Carson Beck. Well, the first one was the second one. I think Beck was in there for a little bit too, then had the injury. So it's tough. Yeah. 2 big losses last year. And the narrative around Sark has been that he doesn't win the big ones these past few years, which I think is a little bit unwarranted because he's won some big games. But, didn't beat Washington, didn't beat Georgia. He may have some big-time wins on his resume, but has not been able to take that full next step yet. This would be a really big game for him. Even beyond the play on the field, in recruiting as well, because we've seen Sark go into Georgia and get some really talented players. The linebacker, the interior defensive lineman last year, both big 5-star guys. James Johnson, got him on the team. Some big names from Georgia. But you can't lose to Kirby Smart again. You can't lose to Kirby. I mean, that would be tough. 0-3 in the 3 games the past 2 years would be a tough way to start. So, number one, Biros, what are your thoughts on the history between Kirby and Sark? Obviously, used to coach together at one point. 2, how important of a game is this for Steve Sarkisian?
I think it's important for the confidence of his program going forward. More so than it's important in a moment, of course, but I think it's, to your point, for recruiting in the future and just in confidence for himself. He knows he's a good coach, but when a coach has your number or a team has your number, that's hard to get over. And to your point, they know each other, they work together. So it's Kirby is in his head a little bit. And so I think this is utterly one of the most important games for him, especially with a team that's not as talented as teams have been in the past. So it'll be telling, honestly, man, just to see how prepared this Texas team is. This game is going to speak more volume into who Sark is as a coach than any other Georgia game in the past.
Yeah, this is I felt like last year Texas was the better football team. I just think they were. I thought Quinn was better than Carson, even though he didn't play like it. Now their quarterback played well in that game, but I just felt like we were the more talented team. I mean, we both had Texas had Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, all the guys in the defensive line that went pro, Alfred Collins, Vernon Broughton, all those guys. Offensively, all 5 of your guys, well, not all 5, but most of the guys in the offensive line went to the leagues. You had a quarterback that's now playing in the leagues. Receivers, that's Matthew Golden on the Packers, Gunnar Helm. I mean, so much talent. And then you look on the flip side, Georgia had a ton of guys too go pro, right? But I just felt like last year was a great opportunity for Texas, but it was a mistake here. It was a play here. It was not executing on this moment. I mean, Carson Beck had 3 interceptions last year. And I don't have the number in front of me, but I didn't feel like we ever converted on those opportunities, right?
Right.
And I think that says a little bit about Sark not being able to, rally the team in those moments, make the plays necessary. And we really should have beat them that second time around. I mean, the second time in the playoffs, again, I think we were the better football team. We had all the confidence, momentum, and then you lost in overtime in a game where, I mean, Gunnar Stockton was not great in that game. He was not great when he played.
He was not.
And Texas let it slip through their grasp again. But then in the offseason, knowing Georgia was going to be on the schedule, it was always like, well, we lost the game because Quinn can't navigate the pocket. Now we're going to have Arch Manning in. Right. So heading into this year, I think there was a lot more confidence that Texas could get over that Georgia hump. And here we are, where Texas has 2 losses, Georgia has 1. Texas has a path to make it to a playoff spot. Georgia has a path as well. Big-time game for Steve Sarkisian. Big-time game. And Texas has the advantage. They're a healthy football team. They're coming off a bye. They just beat Vanderbilt. They're playing their best football. Georgia is coming off a road game at Mississippi State where they played fantastic, but you played Mississippi State just a week ago. You don't have that extra week to prepare to get healthy. It feels like, and I think I would say Georgia's the more experienced football team than Texas. I don't know if I would say they're more talented than Texas, but I would definitely say they're the more seasoned team than Texas. They're a little bit older. Texas is a very young football team, but man, if it's not going to be this time around, I don't know when it's going to be. And that's not a place you want to be at when you're trying to become that elite program. So that's
Very
why I think
true.
it's a big game. So it's a big one for Sark. You got to get this one. In terms of, did you hear about Kirby texting Sark?
Yeah. I'm telling you, like he's already trying to Jedi mind trick him. I'm telling you, man. Like when you coach with someone for as long as they did and have that relationship, and like the narrative in the media is Sark can't beat Kirby, he's gonna use it to his advantage. I would
Now,
text Sark every day.
was there ever a time when you were either in college or the NFL when you were like, man, I got this matchup versus this receiver, I'm gonna get in his head, I'm gonna shoot him a DM or something like that, I'm gonna send him an email? Did that ever go through your head at any point?
In college, I thought about doing stuff like that, but just if I knew my matchup well enough, I didn't even care because I was prepared. Like I was more so focused on the initial plan and then what they're going to do to counter what I'm doing. So Sark right now, has this first 15 play script already drawn up, thinking about it, right? That's not where the game is won. It's the 4 or 5 drives after that in terms of how guys are performing and how are you adjusting to what Kirby is throwing out, because I guarantee you, and Georgia doesn't even do it that much, but I guarantee you we're going to see it. They're going to send simulated pressure. They're going to send a second level blitzer and drop a DN somewhere because it's been done since week 1 versus Ohio State. Like we haven't gotten it off our film. We've given up sacks. Arch has thrown into it a couple of times as if he doesn't know where the coverage is, and all they're running is cover 3 or cover 2, but they're disguising it well. So yeah, I mean, if I was Kirby Smart, I would text Sark every morning when I get up, and I wouldn't say nothing crazy. I would just text him, let him know that he's on my mind.
Shoot him a text of the breakfast you're eating. You got some eggs, some bacon.
Like
just shoot a little photo of it, send it to him. that'd be incredible.
I'll take a selfie with the G in the background. Like I'll be doing all kind of petty stuff just to keep him on my mind, like, or let him know that
you're on my mind. I'm thinking about you.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I would text that.
What do you think of this comment from David Keith Williams? Texas will not continue to beat Georgia for 5-star recruits without beating Georgia on the field. I think there's some merit to it for sure.
That's like 40% true, because Texas has money that Georgia doesn't have. So
that's a short way of saying it. Texas got a little bit more money. And so a lot of times recruiting comes down to if it's an in-state player, like if you're competing for a guy in Georgia, does that guy want to stay in Georgia or does he want to go elsewhere?
Exactly.
Like I grew up born in Texas. If I was a 5-star recruit, maybe I don't want to live in Texas my whole life. Maybe I want to go live in Oregon and play over there.
Right.
Like, there's guys who are just like that. Look at DeCorian Moore, who I don't know where he grew up in, but grew up around in the South and then didn't want to play at Texas, didn't want to play at LSU, made his way over to Oregon. So sometimes there's just guys like that who don't want to live in Georgia. So, but it definitely helps. I mean, it definitely helps if you lose to Kirby. Kirby's going to have a whale of a pitch for a guy who's considering both. If you got a 5-star who has Georgia, Texas, and somebody else in the top 3, all Kirby has to say, I'm 3-0 over Sark, and Sark's gonna have to just, here's a little bit more money, but that's that.
Like the only pitch becomes, you can help me beat him.
Get him, yeah.
That's the only pitch you got, which is like, you sound kind of desperate. So yeah, this is a tough one, but this is a huge game for Sark and like this Texas program, because I tell you this is the type of game that catapults you confidence wise. Like, as well as we've been playing, we should have beat everybody we've played after Florida. No questions asked. I don't care what anyone says. Right. So, but beating a Georgia team who's ranked 5th in the country, who's, just as talented on paper, playing some really good football, you beat them. It brings on a different sort of confidence that I don't think this team has had in a long time. So, looking forward to it, though.
Texas fans, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Sark versus Kirby? Is this a big thing, or are we making a big thing out of nothing, or is this real?